PA, Ocala, Gainesville, 1870 AM, 96.3 FM. The Source.
So I don't know about you, Robin. Do you ever have somebody ask you, what do you do when you like a guest a lot or don't like a guest a lot? Does it affect you, right?
Yeah.
You get that. We get that question more than you realize. So I'll tell you the answer to the first one. If you like a guest a lot, it's just fun. And the problem is you forget that you're supposed to be talking about something, and you just end up having fun with the guy. Anthony, you're one of those guys. I don't know why. We connected somehow. Anthony LiCausi is in this. LiCausi. I got to say it like he does. Anthony LiCausi is in the studio. He's with Finishing Touch Floors. You've heard him before, not only as an interview guest, but also on the advertisements he does. His catchphrase is, forget about it. I heard somebody say it this morning, by the way, and I thought, wait a minute, that's no longer up for grabs. That is now a patented trademark expression.
Official.
Yeah, Sinatra trademarked his face, I think. So Billy Joel did too. So
there you go.
You're in good company, right there.
There you go.
How you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Robin, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
The old saying is, to be any better, I'd have to be you.
That's awesome. How's the flooring business?
The flooring business is great. And
can you sit a little closer? You look relaxed, but there you go.
Yeah, I like to relax. So I don't get to relax at work. So
I bet. No, that's hard work. What you do is really hard work,
especially in this heat. Especially in the heat of Florida.
And usually when you're working on a house, the air conditioner isn't on yet, right?
It all depends.
Oh,
some systems are on. Well, now that I'm dustless, I can allow them to turn the system on. It won't clog up the system because there's almost no dust in the air.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's a nice feature, a nice benefit. So I can have the AC running, which has been a godsend.
Yeah, I bet.
Worth every dime I spent on dust containment, let me tell you. But that brings me to my thing is, people don't realize that I can salvage floors that look trashed and that people would normally think are garbage. I did a floor this last week. It's a 138-year-old pine, Douglas fir pine. The floor was in terrible shape, and worse yet is the previous people who ever owned it before this owner either decided to sand it themselves, which was a nightmare, or had somebody who didn't know what they were doing because they gouged the floor everywhere. And you really would have thought this floor was done. It took me twice as long as I should have, but I was able to get this floor clean, flat, and looking nice. And that's what people don't realize is just because the floor is beat up doesn't mean it's garbage. Okay.
So let me ask you this. If somebody considering getting a wood floor, is it the same? Do you get the same warnings as somebody wanting a pool? Somebody says, I want a pool. They'll say, oh my gosh, it's so much work. Yeah, but it's worth it in the end. Is it the same thing with the floor? Is that a lot of work?
No, floors are actually very little work if done right. I'm leading people lately to satin and semi-gloss finishes because they always look clean. As soon as you put a high gloss on something, every speck of dust shows. The light reflects it. Mm-hmm. And so we put down a satin or semi-gloss. And so, you cleaned on Monday. On Friday, it still looks clean.
Oh, that's a great secret.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm pushing. Trust me, I used to love high gloss floors, but they always look dirty. You were cleaning them all the time.
Do you clean them with a vacuum cleaner or does that scratch them up?
Vacuum.
Really?
Dust mop. So long as you've got a brush attachment on your vacuum and you're not using hard plastic onto the thing. Okay. You don't use a beater bar. You turn the beater bar off. That's for carpeting only. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it really won't scratch the floor. Very rare.
By the way, beater bar is Brooklynese for beater bar.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
People like I like to hand scrub on my floors.
Oh, no. First off, water is wood's enemy. So I don't want you using any water on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Uh-oh. And if you sign up with my maintenance program, you actually get the floor cleaner and the microfiber mop. and then you get your floor cleaner every month. You get your supply.
Oh, okay.
You spray it on the mop,
Uh-huh.
okay, and just go. When the mops.
Is that only for wood floors, or would that work on tile?
It might work on tile also. It wouldn't hurt tile, but it works really well on wood.
Yeah.
Because tile has the grout lines. So you hit the grout lines, it kind of may pull some of the dirt off the microfiber mop, but wood doesn't. Wood's, well, when I do a floor, it's flat, it's even, so you're just taking it straight across and nothing gets left behind. And the nice thing about this cleaner is, let's say your kids drop, piece of chocolate, candy, whatever, soda, that you cleaned it up with some paper towels, but now it's sticky. Well, you spray the cleaner right on the spot and just take a paper towel and wipe it off, and you're done.
Well, that's wonderful, because if I get that done, then I would need to have your maintenance program, because I don't want to do anything damaging to the floor.
You know what else is nice about the maintenance program? It winds up being a few dollars a month, okay? And at the end of 12 months, I come back and I abrade the floor so it's ready to adhere to another coat, and I put down 2 more coats. So this way, every year, your floor looks nice and new. And I tell people, do it for at least 2 years, because once you get to that point, it becomes almost indestructible.
Wow. Okay.
It's very hard to.
But would it be overkill if you did it more than 2 years?
No, it wouldn't be. But there is a point where it reaches where you can't do it anymore.
So what do you then? You have to strip it all out again? And
I don't want to. I wouldn't let people go that far. Because if it gets too thick, then it gets a haze to it.
I would think so. Yeah.
So you want there is a break point where you say don't do it anymore for at least 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever.
Does the humidity of this area make your job different than, for example, if you were in Arizona where there's hardly any humidity?
Yeah, it's very different than even New York, which I'm from.
Right.
So in New York, everybody's got basements. So everybody has wood subfloors, plywood, pine, whatever it was they used at the time.
Right.
So we nailed down the floors. It's a lot harder to get them to move. The humidity, even if you get a high humidity day, the floors don't move. In Florida, you're mostly on cement slab. So the humidity is there all the time. So you got to seal that cement slab.
Okay, so that's first.
And seal the cement slab and then glue down the floor, or put in a floating floor, one of the two. So it is a completely different world. It's like relearning everything again. The section of the industry I didn't use much, I'm using all the time here.
So if somebody has a wood floor and it's one color, and they want to change it to a different color, and
let's redecorate.
Yeah, you can.
Let's redecorate.
Do that.
Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful.
A different color wood. Now, why would you do that? It seems like.
Well, okay. So let's say, for instance, you had dark mahogany stained floors, okay, and you had all light furniture. Well, guess what? Your wife decided to go out and buy all new furniture. She brought in all gray furniture. On that dark mahogany, it's too dark. Everything becomes too dark. So now she wants to change the floors. We'll take it off, put down natural, or put down a color, put down white.
Nice. I love that.
And a white wood floor still has that wooden look?
Yeah.
Really?
We actually, we can do it multiple ways, but the most popular is a whitewash look, where you get this in between the grains and everything, and it looks really nice and shows the grain even more. Okay, really pretty.
That's wonderful.
What kind of comments do you get from people who have a wooden floor for the first time? Do they call you up and say, is there anything I do about my husband's heels, or
or my wife's heels,
or my wife's heel? Yeah.
So what I explained,
or the dog is slipping all over the place, that kind of stuff.
No, I don't get the dog is slipping all over the place, because I don't use that kind of finish.
Oh, okay.
So years ago, the finishes used were very slippery.
Yeah.
So dogs slid. What I do find that I get is the dog is, especially on soft woods, a lot of the engineered floors, my dog is actually marring the wood, and you go look at it, and there's actual indentations, not scratches, indentations.
Just by laying on it, you mean?
No, from running.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So they're running, and they're trying to stop at the end, and of course, this is a wood floor. It's made smooth.
Funny visual.
So they're getting a couple inches of drag on the nails. And what does an animal do the minute it can't stop? It kicks its nails out. So they make an indentation.
Okay.
That's something that is inherent to certain types of wood. If you're putting down an oak floor, your dog's not doing that kind of damage, The one thing I will tell you is women especially, but not exclusively, need to keep an eye on those high heel heels. It's not the heel itself that makes the problem. It's the nail when you let the heel wear off. So you just got to keep it.
Bet, yeah.
That nail will make indentations. They look like itty bitty tiny horseshoes. If you're starting to see them, take your shoes to the shoemaker.
Okay, you just reminded me of something. When we're in school and you have the high school, what do you call it, the basketball court? The coach, don't wear your shoes on the court. You're going to leave scuff marks, right?
Mhm.
So, fast forward to today, and specifically to what you do.
Okay, so years ago when you were going to play basketball and be on the gym floor, you were running and stopping. So, yeah, classic men's shoes have a black rubber heel. It's going to leave a scuff mark. In your house, you're not going to run and try and stop and play basketball. So it's not really a problem. So it's not an issue. Maybe with your kids running through the house, you want to kind of get them to stop. But again, it comes right off.
That was maybe my big question was, is it fixable?
Not only is it fixable, you fix it yourself. You take a little bit of the cleaner.
It's easy to do.
And spray it on, let it soak for a couple of seconds and wipe it off. Maybe a little bit of elbow grease. Sometimes, in rare occasions, I'll tell you to use a magic eraser, or I'll come and do it myself.
A magic eraser?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a Mr. Clean makes the magic eraser.
What?
Oh, I love that. My mother uses that.
I knew she would know. You're not supposed to know. You're a guy.
What?
It's great.
I used to use
it. Sponge.
It looks like a sponge, and it's very smooth, but it actually has abrasiveness to it. But the other nice thing about my maintenance program is when you hire me for the maintenance program, you have me on your beck and call, which means you get a scratch. Anthony, I got a scratch. I'll be right there.
Oh, I heard it.
I'll be right there.
Wonderful.
I will fix the scratch.
What was that?
So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll touch up the scratch so that it doesn't get any water damage. Because anything that is exposed, any wood that's exposed, any water you put on it will turn it black. Okay? So you want to make sure we get on top of those scratches right away. It doesn't make them go away 100%, but at least it won't change color. So when we put the next coats down, it looks nice.
So do we sometimes get steered in a bad direction by commercials? Like there's a product, some kind of oil, I guess, that's marketed for wooden floors?
Murphy's Oil Soap is not for wood floors. Murphy's Oil Soap is for your kitchen cabinets, for your walls, your mahogany walls, and that kind of stuff. It is not for a floor.
Well, you nailed it too, because that's exactly what I was thinking of. I couldn't remember the name.
Murphy's Oil Soap. And the other one is Bona Floor Cleaner.
What?
Bona Floor Cleaner. Great product.
Bona.
So Bona makes wood floors. They make all kinds of products, finishes. Their floor cleaner has wax in it. If you use Bona Floor Cleaner, I can't rebuff and coat your floors.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Then you are.
I'm not anything. As the customer, you're actually back to a rescrape.
And I would have to have you do it. How would I know how to do that?
Right. So we got to sand it back down to bare wood and start over again because it's got wax in it. Whereas this cleaner I give you is completely safe with any finish, not just mine, any finish.
So
that's wonderful.
What you're saying is, I'm not about wood floors, but I mean, it's the same in everything. With the guy who comes in and talks about cars, I'll ask him about the additives that you can buy in the car store. So he said, don't put any of that in there. You're going to make my job harder.
That's right.
So the same thing sounds like with what you do.
Yeah. Women love me because I tell them they no longer have to get on their hands and knees and scrub the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I have to do once a week.
Sweep around and you're done and you're all finished. So broom, vacuum, dust mop, whatever you like. Or a combination of all three.
Really?
Oh, that's wonderful.
Ignore that.
What is that? Oh, that's your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm trying to say, hey, I see you on the internet right now.
Yeah, probably somebody doing exactly that. I should have shut it off. But anyways,
that's great.
But yeah, so like I said, the maintenance program for people. The other thing is what a lot of people don't realize is you got a floor. It looks okay. You've had it for a few years. Maintain it. Save yourself the rescrape job.
That's part of it too.
So call me up just to do your maintenance.
Do you do staircases?
Yes, I do staircases.
You don't like to do.
Everybody hates stairs because think about it. Every step is like doing a little room.
Yeah.
So when I hit people with the price, they go, "Oh my goodness," because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, all the nosings have to be done by hand. You know, in between the spindles is all handwork.
Oh my gosh.
Each step takes so much longer than to do a floor. There's not much square footage on a flight of stairs, but it's 10 times as much work.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I have no idea. But that must be a common question because I can picture a beautiful house with a beautiful wooden staircase.
Oh, they look beautiful.
Yeah.
They come out really nice. But again, only if someone knows what they're doing.
Are they taken care of? I can't think of a better word. The same way? I mean,
exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
Especially stairs, because if you use Murphy's oil soap on stairs and your elderly grandfather comes to visit, he's going down that flight of stairs the hard way because Murphy's oil soap makes them slippery.
Now, if there's one room in the house that you want all wood floors and then you want like carpeting in the bedroom, are there special strips or something that
Yes.
you put down?
Well, carpet guys will put down gold strips. So if I've installed the wood floor already and now you're going with carpeting, they're going to put gold strips to make the transition. We've all seen those metal gold strips. But when I go the reverse, where I come in and put a floor in and you've already got your carpeting, what I'll do is I'll put what's called a reducing strip. And in essence, it's a miniature ramp that brings it up so that nobody trips on two rooms that are different heights, but they're both like tile and wood. So now they're both up. There's no way to put a reducing strip. We put those T-strips in, which is in essence two teeny little 45s on it so that it just kind of blends the two together.
And how about people with special needs? They have wheelchairs, they have walkers. How do they adjust on a wood floor?
Wheelchairs and walkers. On walkers, I tell people make sure you keep them tennis balls up to par. Put the tennis ball on the bottom of the because otherwise you drag it on the floor and you scratch it. But as for transitions are the same thing. They're just usually bigger ramps. Instead of making it out of a 2 1/4 inch piece of wood, I'll make it out of like a 5 or 6 inch piece of wood, and I'll make the transition more gradual.
Oh, nice.
But that's all custom made stuff. That's not stuff you buy over the counter and say, oh, let me just go to the store and buy a. No, this is something I actually have to mill up myself.
Do you ever have somebody asking you to put a wood floor in to increase the value of their home because they want to sell it?
Everybody. Every dollar you put into a wood floor increases the value of your house by 100 to 150% of what you spend. So if you spend $1,000, your house just went up from $1,000 to $1,500.
Wow! Wow!
So when you're looking to sell, you might as well.
Yeah, you make a few more dollars off of it.
We see things in like those stores with big wood squares, and then they look like puzzle pieces, and they say use this on your screen porch. That to me doesn't sound like a good idea. If you want wood out on the screen porch, we should call you.
If you're going to put wood out on a porch, it's completely different. And I actually don't do it because the water is going to be pouring onto it. When the wind blows the rain into your screened-in porch, like it does mine, you're going to get gallons of water tossed onto this floor.
Sounds like
wood does not do well with that. But there are woods that do, pressure-treated lumbers, things like that, stuff I don't do. There's also something... my friend Jesse Weir of Weird Deck has what's not really wood, but looks like it is plastic.
Oh.
So that's a better option.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Can I ask you if you want to take a phone call? Do we are we going up for somebody's guest time?
No, they haven't called in yet, so we're good.
Okay.
If you've got a caller, I'll take a call.
We do have a call. Put your headset on. You'll be able to hear the caller. Can you hear me, Anthony? Can you hear me?
I can
on
hear
the
you.
headset. Good morning. You're on the air with Anthony. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning. Lately, a lot of people have been running into trouble after the fact with building permits. Do you need a building permit to put in a new floor?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Wow. All right.
That's a good question.
So we want to have a floor put in or the one we have fixed. What do we do? Just call you?
Just call me. I come in. We install it.
What's your number?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Do you need me to look it up? Okay.
I do.
I always forget. You forgot. Okay. Your number is. I thought you would know. 321 area code 321-396-2657. You will not be calling Brooklyn. You're calling. Where do you live, Ocala?
I live in Ocala.
But
That's
you have a Brooklyn.
no, that's in a Popka exchange.
Oh, a Popka. Okay. 321-396-2657. And your website is finishtouchfloors.com.
Yes.
Correct?
And I really enjoy the fact that people can call you and you can come out and give them an estimate, and they can tell you exactly what they want, but you can steer them in a different direction if it's not correct.
I found that these people that do phone estimates, okay, they don't know what they're getting into.
See it. How are you going to know?
You don't know what you're getting into. So what you're getting is not. It's a true estimate because they have no clue what they're walking into. You know? Whereas with me, I very rarely have a change in price. It rarely, and usually it's the customer that makes the change. So they go, okay, you know what? I decided I don't want this. I want Z instead. Well, now there's a change. But if we decide on something and that's what you go with, I've already anticipated most all of the problems that could possibly hit because I saw the job. Okay. And a lot of people are telling me that they don't like this, where people walk in, give them a quickie estimate and want to start sanding right then and there. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't pressure you. There's no pressure here. We book an appointment, you know, for an estimate, and then we book an appointment for the date to start, giving you time to get set up to, I mean, it's an adjustment. You got to empty the room. It takes time. So there's no pressure. I don't believe in pressure. Okay. So get a nice relaxed estimate.
I have a real off the wall question for you since we have a time. We have a little time, right?
Yes,
Robert?
we do.
Have you ever done a wooden floor at a recording studio where acoustics is important?
I have. I've sanded and refinished it, not done the install. So I didn't do the planning of the acoustics of it, but I did do the sanding and refinishing of it.
Do you know why I thought of that? Because you said the floating floor earlier, and I know they had floating floors to keep something with the sound. I don't know exactly how it worked.
I'm not really sure exactly how all that works, but I do know that almost all recording studios do have a floating floor, and they're not the standard kind of floating floor. They're usually put down on rubber feet. So they actually absorb by vibration, so you don't get reverb and stuff like that. But really, all the details of it, I don't know. And I'd rather tell you I don't know something than try and BS my way through it.
I don't know either. I just know that when you go, for example, into the drummer's booth, I mean, it is a lot higher than the rest of the floor. And when you ask why is that, well, it's got all that buffering in it or whatever.
Yeah, and because the feet themselves are that thick.
Yeah.
And then of course you usually put it either on plywood or on a 2x4, so you're raising it up even more. Because again, especially with a drummer, he's pounding. You don't want to hear the secondary pounding, so that those rubber feet will absorb that and not allow. You'll only hear the drummer.
I mean, I'm guessing most listeners are not going to want a recording studio in their home, but you never know. There might be somebody out there.
I actually did work for a guy who was a drummer here in Florida. And if I had been installing it, I would have installed it on a floating floor because he would have benefited from it. Because I actually sanded out the marks from his drums. His wife he kept them in the dining room. So he not only did he have marks from where they were because the sunlight bleaches the floors with time, so they were there a long time, but he also had marks from the drums moving. So the feet of the drums constantly being pounded and moving forward. But again, it's a great idea.
And you're a good person to call because now it's hurricane season. Sometimes the homes get destroyed or partial, and they're able to call you and you can come in and give them the repair estimates on that. Yeah. And also a lot of times people think they're going to have to rip a floor out after a flood.
What do you say to them?
Depends. I got to go look at it.
Oh, you don't say forget about it?
No, I don't. I don't. Sometimes I go look at it and see if it needs to be repaired or if it needs to be sanded and refinished. Because a lot of times I can save people a lot of money just by doing a resand. Because especially on real wood, if it's just cupped, I could sand it out. You know.
Wow.
So that's great. Sometimes a border tool needs to be replaced. If it's possible, I will. You know, to save people money. Obviously, nobody wants to waste money.
Right. No, absolutely. Anthony, always good to have you in the studio. Anthony LiCausi, the phone number 321-396-2657. The website is finishtouchfloors.com. The company is Finishing Touch Floors, but the website is a slightly different name. Over 35 years helping people with their wood floors. are a transplant from New York, and it's not easy to tell anymore because he starts to sound Southern to me.
Let us put the finishing touch on your wood floors.
There you go. Nice way to end it. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
All right, we are up against the break. Let's take that break. We'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.